Hello everyone. So today we discuss something about the damping and oscillation into the system. So what is oscillations? So we discussed the response of the system till now, and response is of two types: the transient response and as well as the steady state response. In the transient response, what is the meaning of transient? Transient is the energy that is already stored into the system component, and if that energy will transfer from the one component to some other component, that constant and keep on constantly transferring. This constant transfer of energy we can call it the oscillations. Also we can say oscillation is the constant transfer of energy from one component to other component. So if we discuss about the first order system, in a first order system there will be only one storing element, energy storing element. So because of that there will be no possibility of transfer of energy from this component to some other component. So we can say the first order system does not oscillate. It does not oscillate. So it will never oscillate. But if you take any other system higher than the first order system, and they will always oscillate because they have more than one energy storing element. So energy will keep on oscillating between these energy storing element. So if you take an example of a second order system means that there will be at least two energy storing element, and not at least two. There will be exactly two energy storing element. So we can take an example of this like that. Suppose there will be one energy storing element is inductor, and second other one is the capacitor. So from they both are energy storing element. So energy will keep on transferring from this element to this element, and then from this element to this element constantly. And this constant transfer of energy, that what we call the oscillation of the system. So initially you can say this is a capacitor and having initial charge of Q naught, and because of the Q naught charge, the maximum energy that capacitor can store, you can call it EC, and this EC will be equal to Q naught square divided by 2C. Then after some time you can say this capacitor start discharging, and because of the discharge of the capacitor, charge will start moving into the circuit, and moving charge equal to the current into the circuit, that will lead to the current, and the maximum current into the circuit you can call it I naught. And because of this I naught, this will lead a energy that will be stored into the inductor, and this energy will stored into the inductor in the magnetic form, and this will you can call it EL, and this will be equal to half L I naught square. So energy into the capacitor will store into the electrical form, and energy into the in the inductor will store into the magnetic form, and this energy will keep on oscillating. So between the electrical form to the magnetic form. So we can call this oscillation as the electromagnetic oscillations. This will be maximum energy that the capacitor can store. After some time, when capacitor start discharging, this energy will start dying out from the capacitor, and when capacitor will be completely discharged, energy into the capacitor will become zero. So when energy into the capacitor became zero, then energy at the inductor will be maximum. After some time, the current into the inductor will again start charging the capacitor, but with the opposite polarity. So again it starts charging, but now in the opposite sense. So like this, and then again start charging, discharging, and then again start charging, and this process keep on repeating. So this is the oscillation into the inductor because of the current. You can observe one thing in the oscillations, that oscillation consists of two things. One is, and this will be the energy, the magnitude you can call it EL. The one is the amplitude of the oscillations. This is the amplitude of the oscillations, and this will be the frequency of the oscillations. So oscillation may be defined only in two terms, like consist only two things. One, oscillation consists of amplitude. It consists the amplitude as well it consists the frequency. So if we want to kill the oscillation into the system, why we need to kill the oscillations? Because this don't let the system get stable. Oscillation don't let the system get stable. Either the system in the oscillation will be marginally stable, or it may get unstable with the time. It never gets stable. So if you want to make the system stable, you need to kill the oscillation of the system. And if you want to kill the oscillation of the system, you need to kill the amplitude of the oscillation or frequency of the oscillation, or at least you need to kill at least one of them, amplitude or the frequency. Or you can say it like that: in the charge, in the capacitor at any point t, it will be qt. You can call it q naught cos omega t plus phi. So it have the amplitude of oscillations and it have a frequency of oscillations, and this is what the shift of phase. This is simply the advancement and delay of the phase shift from this frequency. So to kill the oscillation of the system, what you need to do? You need to damp the system. So we can say damping is used to suppress the oscillation into the system. So we can take the same example of the second order system where we have an inductor and we have a capacitor. But now if we add a energy dissipating element, you can call it resistance, then the energy that is transferring from this energy storing element to this energy storing element again, it will go through the resistance, and now this resistance will dissipate the energy. So in this case, this acts as a damper into the system because it will dissipate the energy. Or you can say in this case, if you calculate the response of the system, you can say impulse response. So that will becomes out to be like this: 1 by LC divided by S square plus R by LS plus 1 by LC. So in this case, if R is get 0, then the response will be like this: 1 by LC divided by S square plus 1 by LC. So this energy will keep on oscillating. So if I take the previous example, when charge into the capacitor will oscillate, it will oscillate like this from EC to again EC. Because of this resistance, what happen? Initially that will charge, it will charge the capacitor up to EC. Okay? Then what happen? It keep on discharging up to minus EC, up to 0, and then again discharge. But in the next cycle, when it charge the capacitor, it not charge the capacitor up to EC. It may charge the capacitor up to, you can say, less than EC, like this. Then again it discharge, but not discharge up to this EC. It will be less than EC. You can say this will be the value of E1, and then this will be the value of E2. And this process keep on repeating. But now every time the values that the charge stored in the capacitor keep on decreasing. This will keep on decreasing, and finally this charge will become 0, and it will achieve the steady state. And when it achieves the steady state, that means the transient of the system will be die out. When the transient of the system will get die out, we can say system will get stable. In this case, this is a little fluctuated. You can say we keep the omega n constant. This is constant, and we change the zeta in this case from 0 to infinity. In this case, this is the meaning of that. So response is basically a function of zeta and omega n. So in this case, we vary the zeta, the damping, and keep the frequency constant. So we can say, if we take the analogous of this with the previous like RLC circuit, then the response will comes out to be 1 by LC divided by S square plus R by L S plus 1 by LC. So in this case, we compare both of them, like 2 zeta omega n with the R by L, and omega n square equal to 1 by LC. So we can say the omega n comes out to be 1 by root LC, and zeta will comes out to be R by 2 root C by L. So now if we don't damp the system, so system will keep on oscillating. So if we don't damp the system, that means damping is 0, and system will never damp, system will oscillate, keep on oscillating. This system will call undamped system. We can call this the undamped system. And in this case, neither the amplitude will die out with the time or not the frequency. So you can say this will be keep on oscillating like this. Amplitude will survive, so as the frequency. And the frequency of oscillation in case of the undamped system will call the natural frequency of oscillation. This is the natural frequency of oscillation. Now, if we damp the system, so damping will be more than 0, but system will be not damped as it required. So system will be less damped. So we can call it under damped system. In case of the under damped system, the oscillation will die out, but it will take time. Maybe it will take infinite time, but it will definitely die out. And if it will die out, you cannot say this will be oscillatory system. It have the oscillations, but system is not oscillatory. You can say initially the oscillations will be high, then they keep on reducing the oscillations, and finally they will reach to the steady state value, and completely transient will be die out from the systems. So you can also take in this system the frequency of oscillations. Now whatever the way it oscillates, the frequency of oscillation, we can call it the damped frequency of oscillations, and this will be equal to omega n 1 minus zeta square. This is a damping coefficient. In this case, frequency, why I am saying this system is not oscillating? Because in this case, amplitude of the system will die out. Frequency will survive. It has the frequency of oscillation. This is a fixed frequency of oscillations. Like if you take example zeta equal to 0.2, definitely it will comes out with some random value of omega t. So it will keep on oscillating. Frequency will never die out in this system. No, maybe up to infinity, but your amplitude will die out. So in this case, you can say this system have a period. And what is the period? 2 pi by omega t. But this system is not periodic, or this signal is not periodic. So because for the signal or to be periodic, it must have the amplitude as well as the frequency. In this case, it only have the frequency, that you can say only the period, but not the amplitude. Amplitude will die out with the time. At this time, this amplitude will be dying out. So next case, if we damp the system and damp it exactly what is required, so this you can, so this will be perfectly damped, or you can call it the critically damped system. Critically damped system. So when this system is critically damped, definitely if you find out its you can say like the step response. So in this case, the response will be comes out like this. Why? Because in this case, if I put the value of 1, then your frequency omega t became 0 in this case. And when this became 0 in this case, what happened? It will be immediately die out. Your oscillation will be immediately die out. They are not same. But in this case, your amplitude will not die out. So we can say on this node, if you want to kill the oscillation of the system, either you have to kill the amplitude or you have to kill the frequency. In this case, we kill the amplitude of the oscillations. In this case, we kill the frequency of oscillation. And so we cannot say this system is oscillating. So this system will not oscillating at all. So we also can say the system is not periodic. So now in the next case, what we can say, if we damp the system, but damp the system more than what is required, so we can say you over damp the system. So you can say this is over damped system. And when you over damp the system and find out its step response, you can see its step response will be comes out like this. This is the step response. If it is t, this is also t, time domain. If you remember the first order system and their step response, that is exactly the same. How I recall that this is the first order standard system, and this is the step response. So if you find the step response into the time domain, this will be comes out to be 1 minus e raised to minus t by t ut. So in that case, even a overdamped system is a second order system, but it behaves like a first order system. So physically a second order system, overdamped system is second order, but it functions like as a first order system. Why this kind of thing happen? Because in the overdamped system, the root, we have two different locations on the real axis, and one root is called dominant root, and we only consider only that root, and we neglect the other root. So because of that, whatever the response parameter we will analyze based on the dominant root, and because the system have only one pole left in the system, if system have only one pole, so system became first order. So and we all know this system have a lot of time to settle down, so system is also sluggish. And when if system is sluggish, we also can say the first order system is stable definitely, but they are sluggish in the nature. So this is all about the damping of the system. And so thank you.